and welcome to the Netty cooking channel. Now this video I'm going to be making a coffee and walnut cake, and it's rather versatile as I've included things to make a gluten-free version. So there's one of the main ingredients there, walnuts, but I shall show you all of the ingredients we're going to use to make this cake. So I've got 200 grams of unsalted butter there, but I am using the brand called Stork. I've got 2 prepared cake trays lined there already. So you 2 20cm round cake tins, but I'm using silicone ones. There's 200 grams of caster sugar. That would be quite nice with golden caster sugar as well. I've got 3 duck eggs there, but if you're using chicken eggs, I'd make sure to use 4 medium free range duck eggs. I got 100 grams of walnut halves there. I've kept them whole because I like it that way, but feel free to chop them if you prefer that. And that is actually 200 grams of gluten-free flour. Now I thought I'd include here, it'll have a vanilla in it. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and because this is gluten-free, only use xanthan gum if you're doing a gluten-free recipe. So I figured to do a 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. I've got 2 teaspoons of instant coffee there, dissolved in 1 tablespoon of boiling water. But what is quite nice to use instead, or as well, is about a tablespoon of camp coffee. It does add a nice flavour. So if anyone wants to see the back, the ingredients there, you can pause that there and have a read. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to add is the flour in there, and I'm going to sieve that. You can sieve it as many times as you want to. It puts a lot of air into the cake, and therefore that will make it as nice and fluffy as possible. Oh, just in case you're wondering, the little ring I'm wearing, that's a handmade one, and I'll link you in the description below if you want to check that out, their Instagram page. So I've added the sugar, the eggs, vanilla into that. In the eggs go, and I'm going to cream them all together, just like that, and the butter as well, of course. So whisk that up until it's nice and smooth. Add in the coffee, the flour, everything else apart from the walnuts at this stage just goes in. The recipe will be available in the description below. If you're adding the instant coffee, I would wait until that's completely cooled, but use boiling water so all the instant granules will be completely dissolved, because you don't want to curdle the eggs at all. So we're going to fold that very gently until it's completely mixed and incorporated there, and then it's time to pour it into your cake tins. Well, before that we'll add the walnuts, shall we? So make sure they're nice and evenly coated in that cake batter. So I put that, you can measure them if you want to, so it's an equal amount for each cake, but I'd do that at 180 degrees Celsius, and that's gas mark 4, I think 170 fan, but everyone's oven will vary. It took about 25 minutes, but anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes. So there we go, just pour that in. And that's quite an easy one, it's just basically popping everything in. Now a lot of the time I'll cream the eggs, the sugar and the vanilla and the butter together at the beginning, but I'll try that again. I think I did that a little bit different, but yeah. I just find it works better as well if the eggs are at a room temperature. You'll get the optimum kind of fluffy texture that we're looking for. I've also found using a ceramic bowl works so much better than a metal bowl. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's, I don't know, thinking too much or what, but it seems to mix so much better, especially with that bowl. I love that one. So I'm just going to even the top of the cakes there. Make sure you can use those belts around. There's some I've seen. I'll put a picture of them on the screen right now, but they do help to make it even. But I find if you want it really even, you can turn the cake over, because the bottom of the cake is going to be perfectly flat. So that's the way I do it. You can flatten them if you want to and use all the tricks you see on Great British Bake Off, but I find that works perfectly well. So there we go, there's the temperatures again, 20-25 minutes, depending on what type of oven you've got. And I do have a video about how I go about lining cake tins, just my kind of way I do it. So next thing we're going to do is make a coffee buttercream. So just for the sake of saying, I'm never saying this is the exact way that you should do this, that and the other. This is just the way that I do it, and it's more like a diary for me of keeping, hopefully I'm improving with the baking, but hopefully you can join me on this journey if you want to, and we can share recipes, and you can say, well actually there's an ingredient here, secret ingredient, if you know, fire away in the comments below. So I'm going to use a teaspoon of the coffee essence, which is this camp coffee, which is lovely, and with milk, really cold milk, in with ice as well. It's lovely drink. And again, a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm using that stalk again, 150 grams, but use butter if you want to. If you're following a vegan recipe for your buttercream, you could use a vegan butter as well. So 300 grams of icing sugar, which has been sifted as well. You can put that in bit by bit in the bowl as you're mixing it, because otherwise you get clouds and plumes of icing sugar everywhere. Now I'm just adding a tiny bit of milk. I'm using a soy milk because I'm allergic to dairy and that, just to loosen up that buttercream. It just helps a little bit. Just add a tiny bit at a time. Don't add too much because you want it to be a good consistency, viscosity for want of a better word. But what I do if you find that it isn't thick enough is put it in the fridge for a bit longer, and it should thicken it up lovely. So just mix all that together until it's smooth, and I'm going to put that in the middle of the cake and around the edges as well. And if you've got any left over, it does freeze well as well, and I'll pop all that kind of stuff in the description below again. Now at some point when I make a cake, I'm going to make sure to pipe it as well. I'm not overly confident about piping, but I will give it a go. So I'm just going to decorate the top of that with some walnuts, and all I can say is thank you so much for watching. Do look out in the description below for the recipe to print off, and also there may be some colouring sheets as well. So thank you for watching. I hope that helped, and see you again soon. Bye for now.